So this is the massive clump of rhubarb that I've been given, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly what I did with it. So the plan is to divide it up into 4 or 5 clumps, and I'm going to keep one um, root and pop it in here, and I'm going to pot the rest up and give them to friends and family. So with rhubarb, you want to divide it every 5 years, so just to keep it nice and healthy. So if you've got a big patch of rhubarb, dig it up and, as I say, divide it depending on the size, and replant what you've got in different areas. So this just keeps the plant nice and healthy, and as you'll see further on in the video, the root system is just so big, it becomes sort of all entangled and matted together, so it's important to break that down every so often, just to basically let it breathe and sort of revigorate itself. So you want to wait between sort of autumn and spring to do this, because that's when the plant's dormant. So if it's got too much growth on, anything over a couple of inches, you shouldn't really be doing it, because this potentially might damage it. So once you've dug up your rhubarb, you might be looking at it and thinking, what the hell do I do with this? So don't be worried. There's two parts to this. Basically, you've got the roots, which are all tightly knitted together, and you've got the crowns. Now the rhubarb on this is starting to grow, so preferably I would have liked to have done it a bit early, but as I say, I got given it from a neighbouring allotment. So the idea is to basically get as much soil off as you can to start off with, like I'm doing here. So this just gives you a better idea of where the roots and the crowns sort of are. So what I'm looking for here is a nice big root, or a series of roots with 2 or 3 crowns coming out, and I want to basically chop that off. So that's what I'm looking for there. I've picked my spot, couple of crowns coming out, nice roots underneath, and I'm going to chop that off. And it's inevitable when you do this that you will chop into the root and split the roots. You know, it will grow back, but it does sort of make you panic a little bit if you're not used to doing this. So again, I'm finding my spot. Couple of crowns on the top, nice root underneath, and I'm separating that from the main root system there. The smaller bits you can pull off by hand if you can. A little bit harder, but as you're dividing it, it's a little bit easier to do. So that's as far as I'm going to go with this. I'm going to pick the one that I want and get that planted. But one thing to mention is that rhubarb are heavy feeders, so they like to have a good mulch around the base. I'm also going to put some manure in the hole as well that I dig. So you need to get yourself some good compost or good manure. So I've got my big clump of root here, and what I want to do, I don't want to bury it lower than the crowns here because they'll rot. So from here down is going to be underneath, but I'm going to leave the top bit just sticking above the soil. So you want to dig a hole that's going to get all this root and keep this above soil. So I'm going to dig my hole, and then I'm going to lay some manure over the top as well, put some manure in the hole, and that should be enough to keep it going, I think. So you want a nice big hole, nice and wide, don't cramp it all in there. You want to give it some space, and you want to keep measuring every so often, just so it's not too deep, but allow for the manure in the bottom of the hole as well. And then it's just a case of backfilling the hole without getting the crown underneath, because it would rot. So that's why you do it. So try and keep that above the surface, sort of the crowns where they start to pop out, because any surface water will rot. Rhubarb do like easy draining soil. Um, and in full sun ideally, but this is the only space really that I've got to let this sort of grow wild, because they do grow quite fast and big. So this is a nice space for me personally that I can just let it sort of grow and get big without us worrying too much. And then just give it a really good water. I mean, this was a hot day, so I wanted to give it quite a lot of water. And the manure and the mulch that you put on will help the water retention. So now I'm just going to pot them up. I'm going to give these to friends. So again, same principle. You don't want to bury the crowns. I know these are going to be planted straight away, so I'm not too sort of concerned with how I'm doing it. Just want to get them in there, firm the soil down, and so they're good to go. And this is just my garden compost. This isn't manure. This is just compost that I've made over the past year. And then again, give them a good water. This is a slightly bigger one, so slightly bigger pot. Again, same principle. And if you've managed to get this far, give it a thumbs up. This is a brand new YouTube channel, so if you could subscribe as well, that'd be great. And I hope you've enjoyed watching.